pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes of the June 16th, 2021 regular board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the June 16th regular board.
Your support? I support that. And move supported that we accept the minutes of the June 16th, 2021 board meeting. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Treasurer's report. You received a copy of the treasurer's report. Any comments? If not, I'll place it on file. Planning Commission has given us approved minutes of the June 2nd meeting. Any comments on those minutes? Seeing none, we'll move right along. There was no appeal, correct?
Correct.
Anyone with anything to bring before the board at this time? Mr. Jeff Dodds isn't here this evening. Karen, do you have anything going on in your office?
We do. There were 3 land use permits issued and 8 requests for construction permits. There were 2 new complaints. Letters were written to the property owners addressing the excessive junk issues. Guy and I completed the master plan, presented it to the Planning Commission yesterday morning. There are just a few more grammar corrections, and we should have a final draft for the Planning Commission meeting on August 4th. Northwest Michigan Health Services, that's the same group that opened the Children and Adolescent Health Center in the Manistee area public schools. We'll be occupying the building at 148 Parkville Avenue, which is the old dog grooming building next to Watson's. They offer medical, dental, and behavioral services. The short-term rental house and Senate bills are stuck in legislation, so no action has been taken on them at this point. Guy and I have heard from Prison Power finally. They're the ones.
They sent a check?
No, they have not sent a check yet,
Okay.
but I would like to discuss that. They have a new financing partner. We have sent the ordinance to them. They are supposed to be sending a final site plan soon. I do need to know, however, how much is owed on the attorney bills for them, because that is one of the stipulations before granting them their final land use permit.
I can get you a copy of that.
Okay, perfect. They're hoping to close on the Heathlands property by the end of the month.
Really?
Yes,
They said.
that's what they said. But sometimes they do disappear, 6 months later they.
Because it's not currently open at the golf course, so.
Yep, correct.
Okay.
So, that is it.
Do you anticipate the master plan to come before the board in August?
Perhaps to come before, I can't remember if it comes to, Guy, do you remember, does it come to the board first, or does it have to have a public hearing first?
Well, what it does is,
There will not be this board by
yeah, this
Well,
board,
August.
meeting.
In
No.
September?
It'll be,
not in August.
it'll be you guys in September, I believe.
Pardon me?
I believe it will be you guys in September or October.
Okay.
Yeah.
The planning commission would recommend it to this board, and then the planning commission would hold the public hearing. And then this board can act.
Very good.
We're getting there.
Any questions? Karen, zoning, building? Thank you. Chuck, you got anything going on across the street?
A few things, June of, that was 2021, we had 26 activities total, 6 fire related, 11 medical related, and 9 station trainings and other activities. The chief and officers had 51 hours. Total complaint hours for the month were 62. For June medical, Dave Cook had 5 of them, Shelby and Joe had 4, Jim Murray had 3, and Dave P had 2. For June fire, Sam had 5, I had 4, Jack had 3, and Joe Sick had 2. And also for community service, we had about 21 hours that we just, that was part of the one that we don't charge for those. For personnel hours. Apparatus, 133 is going in Monday finally at Accurate. They're finally caught back up where they can do some of those minor connections or like the seat on a transmission. You can just plug it in the small unit, the steering column, and then the air connection.
Oh, are you gonna fix, are they gonna put on a, so you can put it, plug it in the building air?
Correct.
Okay, good.
So it doesn't keep running that on board air
Yeah,
compressor.
good.
Yep, and then 131 has a ABS light on, and I talked to Spencer, they're getting with Spartan for some warranty. And I talked to him again today, and it also has a power steering pump under warranty. And then I got a letter in the mail the other day from Cummings, and the fuel rail is under warranty. So he's trying to gather all that together so he can come up and see what he can do for us. The fuel rail might be a little bit, because in the letter from Cummings, it said there's just, there's a problem with the fuel rail, keep an eye on it. But they don't know what they're gonna do about it yet. So, it's always something, so.
You know, they said warranties.
Yeah, it's under warranty, so. And then 134's ABS light came out again, so it's like this is ABS speed. I don't know, ABS 1. But other than that, everything else is doing good. Nothing's out of service, we're good there. The parking area, we had talked to Danny about looking at that, he was saying that's that trash dump, or trash truck fire.
Yeah, I made contact with the insurance company, but they have not got back to me.
Yes.
So my anticipation is to get it repaired and send them a bill and then fight over it.
Yeah. And then thanks for getting the door switch, the light switch must be fixed, because it's not doing it anymore.
Okay.
So, it was getting, it wouldn't work, and then it would, so, well, we probably still need to get looked at, so.
I have not, Chuck.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I had a little question mark on it, because it wasn't doing it the other day.
It's not buzzing.
It's not buzzing no more, so I'm like, oh. The 2020 grant from the 50/50 grant, we're finally starting to get here now through city. I got that email 2 days ago. Not all of it's coming in at time, it's been back ordered and, whatever because of COVID. So that's finally coming in. So now I'm working on 3 estimates for the 2021 50/50 grant so they can be separated. And then the update on the revenue sharing, we're still waiting on the generator, but it sounds like it's.
Transfer switch has come in, so now they're just waiting to pull the electrical permits, and then they'll start the install.
Have they done that?
Yeah,
No.
I'll call them.
Oh, that's, everybody's busy.
Yep, so that's moving forward, so that's good, that just takes time. We did order some AED pads and medical supplies for 135R. We picked up some paperwork, paper, so we got that all. We're just not ordering the medical supplies in Boundary. Training for June was CPR refresher with Boy Scouts. Shelby put that on with the Boy Scouts. We also did that inner search again. And we did pump ops, jet siphon with 134. And we did pre-planning out of Maple Ridge, and then we also did a walkthrough later on of the facility when it was, it's a pretty big facility, it's pretty nice. There's 408 rooms, but there's always a number, but there's 4 separate areas. A lot of footprint to cover, so we come up with a good pre-plan, we just gotta finalize it. And then when we do these pool fills, we did 2 more pool fills. We did a total of 7 pool fillings so far, and got another $200 for that. But we use 134, 132. And we do driver's training of that and pump ops, and then also we have these radio talking to each other, so that's good training. It comes in handy because everybody forgets to, little sometimes. So that's been going pretty good. revenue sharing grant, we did receive 2 out of the 3. I mentioned that before, the battery operated tubes, we had received the funding for that, and also the RIP kits with jointly with East Lake, so we'll be ordering those soon. And then the other thing is just, just so the people that we have, we're pretty fortunate we have, people, the new people we have too, the people that have done it a while. It's just getting harder and harder to find people that come out and spend time doing that kind of stuff that we do, so just a big shout out to everybody there. And then Rolling Thunder's coming in town tomorrow, and we're gonna be stopping traffic at Myers. And then Saturday, they'll be up there one day only, roughly from 9 to 5. And then they're gonna run, I think, from 12 to 3 on our route. So we'll be up there, somebody will be up there to run the medical rate. They'll still report some on the calls in our township over there in case someone.
You're gonna be at the corner for traffic control?
Traffic control tomorrow, for when the wall goes through for a brief amount of time. And
Yeah.
Saturday, up at the casino for the day. Hopefully the weather's good, and raining.
Supposed to be nice.
Supposed to be nice, yeah. Other than that, that's all I got.
Any questions for Chuck? Sam? No?
Oh, sorry, one more, we are getting the Alexa pool set up too, Sam's working on that, we just did the online training the other day. That is some pretty awesome stuff, looks like we'll be able to put our own training into it, like we talked about, and it's pretty simple to work too, so. yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Again, extend our thanks to everybody that puts their time and effort in over there for us. Protect the people of the township and wherever else you guys go. Liquor inspector is working, so for the month of June, there were no violations and all establishments have their new liquor license. As of now, Douglas Valley is permanently closed. So nothing more to report. Liquor inspector. Township update, Miller Road the top coat has been completed. The shoulders need to be done, and then that project will be completed. The M55 bridge, I got a note from Todd Kramer, who is in charge of the bridge project. Bridge piling work for the bridge will be finished on Friday the 9th, which is tomorrow. The Treme concrete will be placed on the abutment A, west side of the structure, and the abutment B wall concrete will be placed this week and next week. The beams for span 3, I don't know, we got 4 directions going here. East end are scheduled to be on the site and placed the week of 7/19. Once the beams are placed, work will begin on the superstructure. The rain over the last week has slowed down the progress. Some of this type of work is always weather dependent. Lightning, rain, high winds can make it challenging conditions when the cranes are in use. Progress continues as the beams go on the structure that will start to look more like a bridge. So I guess after all that, it's still on schedule. Anything else we need to speak of? Next will be Mr. Fosdick, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna have my wife Rose do the presentation.
Of the Manistee Broadcast Committee, is that what this is?
Yes.
Yes, so I am Rose Bostic, it is the same, this is my husband Steve, and we're here tonight on behalf of the Connecting Manistee County. And in the packet that we provided you all, there is a listing of the committee members that have been involved. The group came together in January and have been meeting monthly. It is a grassroots initiative, and the first thing that we've undertaken was a survey of the county that's still available, and I was happy to see when I pulled up tonight, there's a poster right in the doorway with the QR code if anybody wants to take that survey. We really appreciate that. That survey was sponsored by the Manistee ISD and West Shore Community College, and we've also worked with Pennies from Heaven out of Mason County. Also in your packet, you can see some of the initial data that's been coming in from that survey. And what we're seeing is, and a few of the comments have said, did you really need to conduct a survey to realize there's a problem with internet connectivity for some of the county? But we are really focusing on trying to find possible solutions for fast, reliable, and affordable high-speed internet. There are well over 400 comments that we've received in addition to the information that people have reported, and we're happy to share that with any of you. If you like, we can email that to you. But there's over 400 comments right now. It's about 17 pages long. So if anybody wants that, just let us know. We're happy to send that, share that. The economic benefits haven't really been studied specifically locally for what the benefits of having affordable, reliable, high-speed internet across the county. But the benefits are many, and there's also a handout in there in 15 ways that rural broadband benefits an area. The survey we're showing does point to there's a need to do something, and we know there's been a lot of attention, both on the state level and federal, of how do we tackle it, and it is a complicated issue. There's no easy answers. So we see the next logical step is to have a feasibility study done and look at what those costs for an infrastructure build-out may be and what the various options could be for the entire county. So we are reaching out to all the townships and asking for a letter of support. And if there is enough interest with all the townships, the village, the city, we do have the letter of support from the city so far, and some of the townships. But it's just a few of us trying to get to all of them, so we're getting around as quick as we can to everybody. But if there is enough support between the municipalities, the townships, and we also see anchor organizations have a vested interest in this, like our hospitals, our school systems, our education system. So we're approaching them too. If we see there's enough interest, we would ask that you entertain the possibility of, if there's enough interest, that we would come back and make a request for a small financial donation to conduct a feasibility study, which then would give us some answers and give us some real good information to provide with the county and the townships of what we can and can't do to make things better for everybody in Manistee as far as internet connectivity. So if you've got any questions, we're happy to answer it, and I want to thank you for giving us some time on your agenda and letting us be here tonight.
Thank you. This is a lot of information here to absorb. It's very comprehensive. Did you people do all this?
The study itself was sponsored, as I said, by West Shore Community College, our ISC, and Pennies from Public. So, what is it, the GIS mapping service that's been involved too?
Yeah, all the surveys are going to come to a GIS mapping so that we can take any duplicate surveys. In other words, if you get two people from the same household to fill the survey out, one will be knocked off because it's per household or per residence. And it will also tell us whether we're getting good coverage to the whole county. And then the part of the county that doesn't show good coverage, we're going to key in on that part of the county and try to get more surveys out of that area.
So we're anxious to see what it looks like besides the great information we have already, once we can put it on a map and see where we're hearing from what people and what issues are out there. So I would like to say, yeah, we did all that hard work, but no, there's a whole support structure of professional people that are doing that. We have done a lot of legwork as far as, we have a Facebook page, if you want to check it out, Connecting Manistee County. We've went to some of the food pantry distributions and passed out information. Any place we could think of, and anybody that would listen to us, and if they would take a minute and fill out the survey. We've done that legwork, but compiling all the data and everything, they've got
So,
that service doing that.
and I know nothing about broadband, other than if I turn it on and it doesn't work, I'll call somebody. That's all I can tell. So what would the end result be from this? To provide quality, faster broadband to everyone in the county? Is that?
we would,
Is that the end result? I mean, is that,
we sure like that. And to have it be affordable for those that want. There are some people that don't want it. And I know my dad, rest his soul, would not have had it in his house. But to make sure, especially COVID shines such a light on it. Broadband's been in my heart for a long time for those people that can't afford in the outlying areas and the impact that has. And COVID really shined a laser light on that. I work with the Betsy Valley Community Center group in the north part of the county, and we have Betsy Valley Elementary School, which is physically in Manistee County, but in the Manistee School District that still had dial-up just 2 years ago. So we started meeting to see what could be done, and one of the private providers, Centec, did step up and lay fiber optic cable to that school. The administrators have told me they would have not been able to get through the COVID crisis had that upgrade not have happened. And you've got kids then that can't compete if they can't get the service to do their homework at home.
oh, I understand that, sure.
And especially at a school, if now I'm going to go to junior high with kids that have had an iPad in their hands since kindergarten and it's new to me, we're putting them at a disadvantage.
Certainly.
Yeah. So I'm also the coordinator for the Manistee Human Services Collaborative Body, so I understand the human impact of that digital divide of people not being able to afford, or some it's not even a matter of not being able to afford, it's just not available in some areas. The technical side of it, I don't understand. My husband's done a lot of digging and a lot of research and talking to a lot of people, and there's lots of different options, and it is a complicated issue, and that's why we feel a feasibility study with experts to come in and help guide us and give us what are those options and what are those costs and what's realistic and what's not is really necessary to help sort through it.
Have you spoke with someone about a study?
There's several different options, but yeah, there's been lots of discussions, and it just so happens that my husband's son is the tech director for Branch County, and they went through the process and are in the process of doing it countywide. The city of Coldwater had public broadband service, and they're looking at expanding, but you can do, we would hope the private sector would step up, but this is just personal, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the committee right now, but the federal government has dumped a lot of money down that route, hoping those private carriers would take care of those folks out there, and it hasn't happened. And I don't see it happening, and I understand from a business perspective, if the numbers aren't there, it doesn't make business sense. So there's, we could hope maybe there was private sector people that would step up and want to do that. You can also do private-public partnerships, and you can go just full public broadband. What's the best answer? I don't know, until we do, a study and really look at that.
So at this point, you're looking for a letter of support from the township as a governmental body to
Yeah.
support the,
We put in a sample letter, just to, as a starting point. And we do have letters right now from Cleon, Brown,
Dixon.
Dixon.
they probably don't have much out there, do they?
No, and that's the hard part.
Well, is not HughesNet available everywhere?
HughesNet, they say it's available.
HughesNet is available if the trees aren't in the way and you can afford it.
Right.
Well, I don't know the cost of it, but I know that just about everybody runs around with a smartphone today. Is that affordable? I don't know. I don't know what the cost of that is. I don't know what the definition of affordable is.
And that all depends on how much money you've got coming in and how important it is to you. I've seen some people that don't hardly have enough to pay the bills, and they've got a smartphone, so.
Well, that's what I say. Exactly. And
There are not so much here. It is more in the outlying areas. We do have some areas that you can't get cell phone coverage.
Sure.
And cell phone coverage there's an emergency broadband benefit that just came into effect to help those low-income people. And there are some of our folks out there that are using Verizon hotspots. The FCC, the federal government, doesn't consider that broadband. That doesn't qualify for that benefit. And as a student trying to do work on a smartphone versus having a computer and high-speed broadband, you can't compare. There's connectivity, but not necessarily what they need to stay in par. We know the school districts right now are putting quite an outlay out every month to provide hotspots to some of those families that can't afford that may work, and we just think that there might be a better way. So, any questions, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, what are your thoughts? You've read the letter, I don't know if we want to accept this letter, we want to do a different letter, we don't want to do any letter at all, what's your wish, what do you think? You got broadband out there by your place?
I use a hotspot, yeah, a Verizon hotspot.
You got broadband at your place, Bill? Mhm.
Yeah, the neighbor has cell, because otherwise you're stuck with dial-up basically, or DSL.
You're looking for a tower to put up?
No, it would be fiber optic. Well, we assume it's gonna be a fiber optic line.
Is there a project like this going, do you know, is a project like this developed anywhere else in the state?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Branch County,
Oh, I guess you suggested it, yes.
Marshall, Michigan, you know them better than I
Yeah,
do.
Marshall, Michigan and Coldwater both have operating systems right now, and both of them are offering 1 gig by 1 gig service for $60 a month.
But with how many customers is that, does that factor into the $60 a month?
Well, both of those towns are about the size of Manistee, maybe a little larger. And in the case of Marshall had 2 broadband carriers in the county, or in the city, Charter and WOW. And the city put the fiber optic line in and they were forecast to be profitable by year 5. They were profitable by year 2, and they took 60% of the residents in the town away from the other 2 in the first year.
The other thing we look at here is, however it happens, getting it discussed, competition is good, because in some of the more the outlying areas, again, in here, there isn't competition, there isn't choices, which doesn't bode well to do well for the customers.
And to give you some idea on the gig by gig, and I'm not saying that's the way we go, Charter right now, about their maximum speed that they're going unless you're paying premium prices is 50 megabytes, which is 20 times slower than a gig by gig. When you have like a gig by gig service, now your TV and everything else can come through your internet. You can stream it all for very little more money. So the people in Out County, like where we live in Brown, we pay an internet bill, we pay a direct TV bill, and when our neighbor has Caltel and he's paying $140 a month just for cable and his internet, and his internet speed is 3 megabytes per second. But
Now,
yeah, it is.
What is layman's term?
Yeah,
That's slow?
That's slow.
okay.
Yeah, we feel privileged because we got on the AT&T fixed wireless that shoots to a tower out on Potter Hill, and we have 10 megabytes per second for $50 a month. And we feel privileged to have that because most of our neighbors don't have that. We had HughesNet for about 6 months before we said we just couldn't afford it. I mean, they have 25 megabyte service, but you're going to use it up in about 3 days. And then you have to buy more service.
as I suggested in the onset, if I turn it on and it's not working, I call somebody. I don't know where it's coming from or where it's going. That's the extent.
And we really don't know what recommendations of the feasibility study are gonna come back at. I know they're gonna look at public, private. There's even a neutral host where the county or the public owns the infrastructure and then they lease it to privates. And the privates then, like say CalTel is in Calabar, they could actually pick up subscribers out of the city of Manistee because it's all one big net. And it expands them, but you would have an option that says if you go over blank amount of per month charge, then the public part of is gonna come in and offer for that money. So it keeps them honest. And the big thing is, if this infrastructure bill in Congress right now gets passed, there's $65 billion of federal funding for grants for this project.
Mhm. So you don't have a cost figure on the feasibility study?
We are going to put a request for proposal out to a number of companies. We do have one, but we're working fairly closely with Laura Heinzelman
Mhm.
at Foundation, and she would like to see in the effort of transparency, put it out to a bunch of different issues.
Sure.
But the price range we've seen when you're looking at it is anywhere from 35 to 140. I mean, and I'm sure you've got good firms out there that would
Right.
take as much as you're willing to give them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's tricky now, and that's what we want to make sure that there's just good information, because we know everybody's coming at all the townships and all the municipalities. They know you've got ARPA funds. I mean, they know everybody wants it. So, how do we make sure that we've got information, making the best choices, and can it be leveraged? Can those monies then be leveraged for grants?
And we don't have it yet, so.
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem giving you a letter of support, maybe not necessarily this one, but that's just my opinion. What does the board think?
What is the letter of support cost? What are that you was asking for, it started
We're
out?
not asking for financial,
No.
well, in this letter, they
In the
are.
future.
Yeah.
Well, we're asking that if there is a
Pardon me?
majority of people that want it, that we will come back again to this board and ask for financial.
Right.
But tonight, we're not asking for anything, and we just wanted to get out to all the townships, to let them know what we're up to, and the letter of support.
Well, when you go talk to the foundation, there are people that are interested besides just yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Laura just had mentioned the other day, it's come up at our foundation board meeting, it's come up at the Launch Manistee meeting. I know it's come up at our Human Services Collaborative body. Our central wellness is concerned because the state is now allowing the tele-behavioral health services to be billable, but if you don't have public available and have the broadband, it impacts those, and of course our schools. Yeah.
No, you saw a huge disadvantage with some of the kids this year trying to, we had suggested that people come down here, sit in their cars and do their homework and use our Wi-Fi.
Well, I found it kind of unusual that Dave Cox at the ISD is spending upwards of $20,000 a month on hotspots. That's a lot of money.
I don't think so. There isn't broadband out here?
Yeah, there is, but you're giving it to kids that.
Oh, I see, okay, I understand now. Again, I apologize, if it don't work, I call somebody. So what's your wishes?
I support doing a letter. A letter of support.
All right, is that a motion?
Yes, that's a motion.
Is there support?
I'll support
Been
this.
moved, supported that we give a letter of support to,
Connecting Manistee County.
that's the
Yeah, it's at the top.
title, so it's Connecting Manistee County? Okay. Any further discussion? And this is to be sent to whom?
To me, to us. You could, would you send it an email or would you want to send it by mail?
We'll probably send it by real mail, and I can email a copy of it so you know it's coming.
Okay.
So we'll use a physical address as well as the email.
Okay. We sign in, so our address is there. Got it?
And the email is the,
It's on here,
right?
watermark 53.
Mm-hmm.
Vote.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Being none, carried. Thank you for your efforts.
Thank you very much.
We need to resolve the city township water ordinance. We've had it for quite some time. Excuse me for just a minute. We had to start the discussion without.
Have we heard back from Andrew on any of the things that we were concerned about? I didn't have.
I didn't talk to him about the things.
I agree there, yeah. Did we get a copy from Alex, the final copy?
No, I don't have one.
Well,
He gave us the one that we didn't bring because there was things that we were.
In May.
Yeah.
Right.
But did anybody get in
Take that.
contact with them and tell them you wanted
I did.
you wanted these things changed? Because I didn't.
I thought that he knew that, he said we didn't have.
Well, he was here, was he?
Not to that meeting, but he had to come to back up the paperwork, and he said, hey, hold the phone a minute,
Yeah.
because there's things in here that, you know, so he didn't come to the meeting, he didn't.
Most of the
So I-
meeting it wasn't.
Yeah, and so I thought that he knew when he said he'll come to the meeting, because we have all these things that we want.
So somebody needs to get with Alex and tell them their concerns are about what you wrote.
On this one,
Yes.
that's why we're here. Let's, I'll convey it to them, or one of you guys can convey it to them, but this has been sitting around here since May.
I see
We need to
that.
get it.
Yeah.
We need to take care of it. So, to begin with, my concerns are section 2, subsection B, parcel or premises being served under the prior agreement between the city and the owner of that parcel or premises at the time this ordinance becomes effective. They continue to be served as provided in the prior agreement, so that there's going to be a difference in,
Actually, that's the wording to take care of Meyer and Microtel and some of that
okay?
prison.
And
But I question it, see what they're talking about.
so in paragraph C, subsection 2, the residence is converted to use other than a single-family residence. That's with regard to,
Yeah, I think we agreed to that,
we did.
didn't we?
Yeah.
In our
Okay.
agreement? Yeah.
Okay.
I think the biggest single thing in my memory was a fire hydrant fee,
Yeah, we did,
annual fee,
There was approximately 55 fire hydrants
$60.
at $60 a pop annually. They don't do anything to them. They don't cut the grass, they don't paint them. You guys,
Well, they might check it once in a while, but, they don't, they're not out there like they
Well,
should.
they're checking them, they're using them to flush the
I
line.
see them for flushing.
Right, that's
Yeah.
about all they do. Then they might put NICs on the caps, but, they don't shove them out in the winter time or mow the grass.
And that was, until we just got this new proposed ordinance, that was never in there.
well, the 1991 agreement suggested that we pay $100 if the fire department cracks the hydrant, if we use it.
If we use.
A one-time fee of $100 per incident if we crack the hydrant. But that was before our mutual aid agreement.
I was gonna say.
Now, our
that
mutual
was-
aid agreement between the city and the township says that if they need our help, we go help them, no charge. We need their help, they come out here, no charge. Well, they use us a lot more than we use them.
Well, and then the fire department's a little different than the city water department, because the fire department in town has issues with the city water department.
I'm just suggesting that it's all one as far as we're concerned.
Right. Just, there's a little difference.
You know, with that mutual aid agreement in place, I don't know why we need to rent the fire hydrants at $60 a pop.
And
And
you said,
how do you guys feel about it?
Well, that's why I mentioned that, because the city has, the fire department has some internal issues with the DPW sometimes, when they pop a hydrant. So, that's happened on a couple of occasions, so. The DPW and the fire department in town, there's some difference. The automatic gate agreement, yes, we will help them a lot, they come help us a lot, help us on medical too, so, yes, back and forth.
Medical, they do.
They do both, so it's nice to have them there, so, yeah, it's good to have them. I'm not sure about that $60 hydrant, maybe what it used to be, maybe something if you actually use one. We crack them down for training, we just let it know. And then-
oh, we never did. I can't imagine why we'd start now.
What's that?
The $50 year.
No, as I suggested, the only monetary thing that was mentioned in the
Did the
91.
township purchase those hydrants? No, so they're all funded out of the city budget.
Right.
But I think what Debbie's saying about the mutual aid agreement, just with that, without having a water agreement at all, should say that fire hydrants are something that shouldn't be included in the water agreement at all, because it's fire, and we have a mutual aid agreement, and so when we have to take our ladders, our trucks, or whatever,
And it's
vice
all,
versa, there's no charge to either party, so I'm thinking that
So the
should,
hydrants should be in
I don't
there.
think it should even be
Or-
mentioned in there, because that's just something,
Right.
Emergency.
we're not using it for anything but fire.
correct. And training.
Yeah, except you have to have that training, but it's for the fire department. I mean, like, if my pump goes, I'm not going over and asking you to open the valve so I can get some water.
And when a water line is run through Township City, wherever, isn't it a state requirement that there's a hydrant every so many feet?
It's supposed to be every 500.
Yes.
Whatever, but there is a requirement. Yeah, I don't know the footage or,
Off of the water line, potable water?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay,
You'll see that down past here,
right.
this way between Burger King. They're not, it's not 500 feet. There's distance more.
I know the triber's got them. I got a hydrant within 500 feet of my house, less than that.
That's good.
Yes.
And nobody can find the hydrant from the house, or the house from the hydrant, but that's there.
Out in the field, right? Yeah.
Anything else in here we need to address?
I had a few things, it's just definitions of some of the words.
That's fine. Yep.
And what else? Section 17, inspections. Talking about the city water department may inspect a property served by the system where cross connections in the system are deemed possible. I mean, that's anywhere. To me, I think they need to, it's too harsh, you know? Suspected. I don't know what the word should be, but it shouldn't be possible.
So you want to,
Change the word.
well, just eliminate deemed possible from that sentence?
Do that too. Where cross connections with the system are, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep. And then section 21, paragraph B, upon the request of a township official, who's that? You know,
Well, I think they're
Is
talking
that
about myself
Chuck or you or me
or
or?
one of these officers.
Okay. You know, there's just some things I'd like to know more about.
Well, that's in reference to enforcement, and if enforcement is these fellows. You know, that's us.
Okay.
That's actually treasurer's office.
And that's, we have one set of rules for, you know, the sewer with the tribe, with the treasurer, and collecting when things go sour and it's put on your tax bill, and then another set of rules for what the city has. So it's like, it's two different things. I don't know any name on that, but just saying.
Well, I think
Enforcement.
they're asking us to help if they have a enforcement issue.
And I had a question in section 22, also A and B.
Mm-hmm.
The first one says they're civil infractions, and then B says they're misdemeanors, and I'm just, I don't understand why. One is one, the other one's, yeah, different.
So we'll ask them to
I
clarify.
mean, it's the same fine,
It is,
yeah,
you know.
monetarily. That's all. Other than things.
And then C, it says that each day it's $500.
Yeah, I like that. EPA did that to us in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay. Do you have those noted, Diane? In case I missed something? Okay.
I'd like to have, when I said definitions, I'd like to have a definition in a curb stop. They didn't really say what that is, but they say, you know, who's responsible here and who's responsible.
The curb
To the curb stop.
stop, I believe is will shut the valve, that shuts the water off to the customer.
Right. They have a whole page full of definitions.
They don't have that.
They don't have that.
Okay. I'll contact the attorneys and suggest to them our requests. Be nice to get this behind us. I talked to Alex about the sewer ordinance. The sewer ordinance is currently 42 pages long.
And the one with the tribe is probably in there, this area.
Okay, good. Thanks. See, that was painless. Unless there's something else along that water issue? Okay. Motion to adopt the MTA principle of governance. Is that something we have to renew or something? We did it in when? 17?
We did it before the last election.
And we need to do it again, obviously, huh?
We did it with the same officer, I believe it was 17 or 18.
17.
Okay. It would be up to the board whether we adopt again at this point in time, or let the other one stand as it was.
Has it changed any?
No, we're
Yes.
Identical?
other than the Manistee Township Association insignia.
Okay. Changed that.
That's really the only difference, and in our particular case, our board has not changed,
Right.
so,
Let it stand.
But it's,
and we can do that.
Okay. It does not really. Anything else that we need to bring up? Anything, take care of? Anybody, anything? You've received a copy of the bills?
Diane, I
Yes, sir.
have a question on the bills.
Sure.
What is Fire Credit Union postage for $1,650?
I went to the post office and mailed one election envelope for $1.20, and the rest of it was rolls of forever stamps, half of which we'll use for the election, or have used, and the other half we used for the treasurer tax bills, and I put it on the credit card instead of writing a check.
Okay.
Postage.
Postage.
That's what in conversation we thought it probably was, but didn't know, and, okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that your father was doing postage. That deal. That's right.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to allow the bills presented along with the additional income bills for Donaldson, Vermont.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Been moved, supported that we pay the bills as presented from June 1st to June 30th, as well as incoming bills for the month of July. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Being none, carried. The MTA has not set a date for,
I sent an email to Jeff, and he says he doesn't have a date for
Okay.
this month yet,
okay.
so that's where I'm at. As of
The-
this morning.
Board of Review will meet on Tuesday, July 20th for errors and omissions. That'll be at 6 PM here at the Town Hall. Zoning Board of Appeals, do you have any yet? Karen,
I'm sorry.
do you have an appeal? Do you have an appeal?
No, no appeals.
Well, if one arises, it'll be August 3rd at 6 PM. Planning Commission is scheduled to meet August 4th, is that at 9 AM again?
Yep.
Yes.
And the Manistee Township Board will meet Thursday, August 12th, August already. Won't be long, we sit in the tree. August 12th, 2021, here at the Town Hall. Any other comment?
I have a comment, and just, it's nice to see the pickleball players having such a good time.
Oh, they were busy.
We're replacing it.
Replacing the fence?
They were rotted off with a rock.
Oh.
It's just nice
So they
to see.
gotta keep the people off the road.
Yeah, you just don't want to hear it.
Anything else? Motion's in order.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Been moved, supported, we adjourn. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Wait, what is it now? Bear Lake Days, is that what's going on now?